In this video, we will guide you through the process of modeling an invoice processing workflow using BPMN in UiPath Maestro. Starting from the UiPath Automation Cloud homepage, you will find the Maestro option. By clicking on Maestro, you will be directed to the UiPath Maestro home screen. To begin, click on Start Modeling, which will lead you to the Designer canvas. Here, you will notice a start event already placed on the canvas. Click on this start event and give it a name. For this demonstration, we will name it Invoice Receipt. Next, we will add an annotation. Click on the event and select Text Annotation. Annotations are useful to provide context. In this case, the annotation indicates that the process is initiated by a trigger from the UiPath data service. The following step involves adding tasks. Invoices are automatically matched against purchase orders in this process. If there's a match, the process proceeds for invoice approval. If not, manual resolution is triggered. To model this, select the event and click Add Task. Once the task is created, let's name it Invoice to PO Matching. You can name the task directly by double-clicking on it and typing the name or add it in the Properties panel on the right-hand side. Lastly, let's provide an annotation for this task. We will annotate it as Automation to indicate that this will be an automated task. Next, we'll configure two outgoing paths from the gateway. The path to be followed will be determined by the outcome of the invoice process. Firstly, choose and add an exclusive gateway named Is Resolution Required? Now, click on this gateway and add a task titled Invoice Approval and annotate it as Action Center App Task to indicate it requires human interaction. Select the gateway again to add another task named Resolve Discrepancies. Annotate this task to show that it will be handled by an agent. At the invoice approval stage, the finance team reviews the invoice. If it's rejected, the vendor is notified. If it's approved, the process continues. By posting the invoice to SAP, we establish two outgoing paths from the gateway. One of these paths will be chosen based on the result of the invoice approval task performed by an individual. To implement this, select the gateway, add another exclusive gateway, then add another task and name it Post Invoice to SAP. Choose the gateway once more and add another task named Notify Vendor. Annotate this task as Integration Service Outlook Connector to indicate it will be an API call represented as a send task. Now, select this connector and name it Reject. Moving forward, we will establish two outgoing paths from the gateway. Depending on the outcome of the agent's task of resolving discrepancies, one path will be chosen. Let's add another exclusive gateway and directly link it to Notify Vendor. We'll rename this connector to Rejected. Subsequently, we select this gateway, link it to Invoice Approval, and label it as Resolved. If the agent is unable to rectify the discrepancy, it will trigger a business error. This error will redirect the task back to the human for further input. To illustrate this, let's add an error boundary event to this task. Select an intermediate event from the toolbox on the left and position it within the Resolve Discrepancies task. After selecting it, opt for a change element and pick the error boundary event. Now, select this error boundary event again and add a task. We'll name it Resolve Discrepancies and include an annotation. To indicate that this task requires human interaction, we'll now link it to the agent gateway. We're nearing the conclusion of the process. For clarity and to easily trace the path your process has taken, it's recommended to establish clear endpoints for your process. We will create explicit endpoints for each path. Select the Post Invoice to SAP task, add an end event, and label it Invoice Processed. In the same way, click on Notify Vendor, add another end event, and label it Invoice Rejected. With that, we've come to the end of this demonstration. Feel free to adjust the connectors so the diagram appears neat and well organized. We have successfully modeled the BPMN process for the invoice processing use case. Thank you for watching.